Hi guys, so just going over what we did in 3J today in class, and that's calculating percentage change. So we've got the steps we need to follow in purple, and we'll go on with example 1. Example 1, find the percentage change when $12 becomes 20. I like to underline the information that I've got to start with. And let's start with the steps. Step 1, calculate the profit or loss amount. Okay, well we know that it starts at 12 and becomes 20, so the number's increasing, therefore we know it's a profit. And how we solve a profit, if we look up here, is profit equals selling price minus cost price. So it's 20 minus 12, which equals $8. So we know that they've made an $8 profit because it has increased. From there we can move on to step 2. And we need to substitute the value into the percentage change, profit or loss formula and solve. Well, we know they've made a profit, so we're going to focus on this formula here, the percentage profit, okay? So percentage profit equals profit over original value times 100. So we've got the profit that goes on top over the original value, which was 12. Please don't get confused with these two values. This was the starting amount, this 12 here. So we know that we have to use that, okay? So original value is 12, so that goes down the bottom, times 100. 100% is the same as saying 100 over 1. Like we've done in the previous chapters, I want you to simplify it just once. So we can go, so if we look at the 12 and the 100, let's find a number that goes into both of those. Well, they're both even, so then I know that the number 2 has to go into them, so let's work with the number 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times, and 2 goes into 100 50 times. From there we can rewrite the equation, 8 over 6 times 50 over 1. Okay, so as I said today in class, for the test I only want you to show me that you can simplify it once. So now we can move on to the last step, which is multiplying our fractions. Now, as I said in class today, I'm more than happy for you to use your calculator from here. So we need to times our numerators by our numerators, which becomes 8 times 50 into our calculator, which is 400, over, let's work out our denominators, 6 times 1, nice and easy, 6. Now when we get to here, we've got 400 over 6, which is the same as saying 400 divided by 6. So we again can take out our calculator and write 400 divided by 6. And that should give us our percentage, which is 66.6%. Okay, that is our final answer. So what this is telling us is that when $12 becomes 20, it increases by 66.6%. All right? Okay, moving on to our example 2, which is slightly different as it's a worded equation. Jennifer purchased her first car for $5,000. She sold it a couple of years later for $3,500. Calculate the percentage profit or loss that Jennifer has made. So the first thing I like to do is underline any essential information in the question. So we need to know that she bought the car initially for $5,000, and then a couple of years later she sold it for $3,500. So the first step we need to do is calculate the profit or loss amount. Well, we can see here that the number has gone from 5,000 down to 3,500. So that says to us that the value has decreased, which means it's a loss. So if we look over here, to calculate the amount of the loss, we have to get the cost price, or the initial price, which was 5,000. And minus the selling price, which was 3,500. Now, if you're not very good at subtraction, you can type this into your calculator and it should come out with 1,500. Let's not forget our dollar sign. So this tells us that Jennifer has made a $1,500 loss. Okay, so that's the first step done. Second step, substitute the value. So this value here into the percentage change, profit or loss formula, and so we said that she's made a loss, so we need to look at this formula here. Sorry, excuse my little arrow. The percentage loss formula. So we look where it says loss and we put that value in. So it should look like this: 1,500 over the original value, which was 5,000, times 100%, which is 100 over 1. And that is what our starting formula will look like. From here, I want you to simplify this once to make the numbers a bit smaller. So we can look at the diagonal numbers first, or the 1,500 and the 5,000 first. It doesn't matter. I'm going to look at the diagonal numbers. I always like to start with them. So I'm going to cross off the zeros. We've got 2 up there, so it means I can cross 2 from down here. Now I want you to rewrite it. So 1,500 over 50, because we crossed 2 zeros out, times 1 over 1, which we know is 1. As I said before, I only want you to show me that you can simplify it once, and then you can use your calculator if you need to. So let's times our numerator by our numerator, which is 1,500 times 1, which is 1,500. And then we'll times our denominators by our denominators, which is over 50 times 1, which is 50. And from here, get your calculator out and type in 1,500 divided by 50, and the calculator should give you the answer of 30. And remember, we must put our percentage symbol because the initial question asked us to calculate the percentage profit or loss that Jennifer made. So from here, we can say that when Jennifer bought her car for 5,000 and she sold it a few years later for 3,500, she made a 30% loss. Okay?